Today is April 20th, 2015. This is our community assessment project, and we did Clayton, Georgia, which is in Raven County, Georgia, at the north, kind of the northeast area of Georgia. And our group members are myself, Brittany Stamey, Jamie Bowman, Brianna Beatty, Melinda McGee, and Tanil Davey. I'm going to start out talking about our windshield assessment. We all were able to go do a drive-through of the city, and none of us are from there, so it was new to all of us. We first looked at the physical environment, and as we were driving in, we noticed that inside the city there's a lot more congestion. Once you get out toward the county zoning areas, there's more scarce businesses. It's more just rural areas, more homes and pastures, stuff such as that. The road condition was adequate. It was maintained, especially in the center of the city. There were some potholes and cracks as you got further on out in the city, on into the county areas. We did notice the fire hydrants were not well maintained on the outskirts. There were sidewalks present on both sides of the street while in the city limits, which really helped feed into our later nursing care plan. There were a lot of cabins, and the housing really varied from really nice, huge cabins, 2-story, 3-story homes, to public housing communities, really old mobile homes that were falling in. There's just a really wide variety. The average home was probably 2-story vinyl homes. There were a lot of those. Most of the houses were bland, neutral colors. There were wood, vinyl, stone, and there were a lot of animal sounds we noticed on the city limits. In the city, there were some loud music from the cars and the car sounds as well. Animals we saw were free-range chickens, dogs, donkeys, horses, goats, cows, and there were a lot of dead animals in the roadway as well. We only visually saw Caucasians. However, we did see one Hispanic family, but after we looked back and some statistics, we noticed that there are actually a lot more Hispanics in the area. Just so happened the day we were there, we only saw Caucasians. Health and Social Services, there was a Mountain Lakes Medical Center. It wasn't very large, not very, it's good treatment. There just wasn't a lot of specialization. There's not a lot of specialization in the hospital. You have to be moved out to a larger hospital, which they do have contacts with. There were a lot of doctor's offices. There was actually one directly in front of the hospital that contracted with the hospital and served all age groups. There's a nursing home named Mountain View. Primarily elderly people live there. There's a dialysis center, MedLink, Clayton Family Eye, Raven County Family Connection or DFACS, CVS, Walgreens, Clayton Pharmacy, a USABIT Pharmacy, Orthodontics. And this is just a few. There are several. And then as far as educational institutions, it is about a 15-minute ride from the city out into the county to get to the schools. There are no schools inside the city limits. They have to drive there's one primary school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, and those are all located in the actual county zoning area. So Raven Elementary was K through 5, the middle school was 6 through 8, the high school served 9th through 12th, and then there were some private schools in the area, not in the city limits, but in the area that were available, like private boarding day schools, and those served 5th through 12th grades. As far as spiritual facilities, there were a lot. We have a lot of churches and a lot of different denominations. Just a few within the city limits were St. James Methodist, Clayton Presbyterian, Clayton Baptist, Clayton First United, and St. Helena Catholic.
Okay, the primary transportation for the area was personal vehicles. We didn't see any transport buses that went from county into city. Let's see. And there was recreational facilities. They had a small rundown golf course. They did have disc golf at the city building. It's for all ages, but it was very rundown. It's primarily for adolescents and up, though those activities are. They did have a city park. It's for all ages. economic base. They had small stores, really just not chain stores, just kind of locally owned things. They had a mulch and a rock yard. They had antique stores. They had boutiques. They had an art studio. They had Blue Ridge Music Studio, laundromat. They had small clothing stores, Reeves Hardware. Then they had small food restaurants like La Pachangas, Mama G's, La Cabana, and the Clayton Cafe. Those are all things that are local to that area. Then they had the chain restaurants, and this feeds into our later diagnosis. The chain restaurants were all kind of fast food restaurants. We have McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut, Waffle House, Huddle House, Taco Bell, and Mishima Cafe, or Mishima Restaurant, which is like a Japanese kind of fast food thing. Most of the community had a GED or a high school diploma, and that was all that was required for most of the job positions that we noticed were available there. The job opportunities that we saw were for the chain restaurants and the grocery stores. Some of the community services that are offered were the ambulance services, and then you had med transport. Then the city of Clayton had the city hall, city court, the police department, the fire department, 911 call center, and they had an evacuation route in place should something happen up on the mountains, whether it be a fire or a flood, mudslide, that kind of thing. They had evacuation routes for that, and there were signs posted. Some of the health promotion activities that benefit this community, they had specialized care, like they had a pediatrics doctor, and then they had more recreational activities like bowling, skating, skate parks, tracks, basketball, and tennis courts.